20 years ago, it was very unusual for Japanese to be taught at the high school level, and the Japan America Society created the Japan Bowl in order to encourage those high school students who were starting to study Japanese. It's a quiz competition, sort of like it's academic or a variation of Jeopardy, but it challenges the students not just in Japanese language, but also on their knowledge of Japan as a country.
Some of the students have been to the Japan Bowl, so they know what it's going to be like. But most of the students are there for the first time. They are greeted by the Japan Bowl committee members, and then there are other Japanese people, and they are just excited to see them, and they get to meet with the other teams.
As a level 2 participant, this would be my first time going. So I think the experience was overwhelming because there are a lot of things that we had to get used to, like a competition. It was a lot of mentoring. We got a lot of help from other levels, and we had to make a lot of friends and be really open.
Question number 41. Listen carefully.
At the preliminary rounds, the students are divided into 3 different rooms by level. So we ask 50 questions at the first day and another 50 questions at the second day.
This man, considered the greatest Japanese film director of all time, is the only Japanese to have received an Oscar for Lifetime Achievement.
The questions are read by Japanese native speaker and English native speaker, and they get to consult with each other and write the questions on the answer sheets.
During the preliminary rounds, it's really, you're so focused on, I need to remember all of these things, I need to know these areas, and it's really hectic for that time.
I was just trying to jot down everything that I could remember from the passages that they were reading, frantically trying to get answers down.
The second day, we had Hajimaki, who is the Sudoku godfather from Japan, and we had Sho Asano, who is the shamisen player from Tohoku, Japan. And we had Andy Anderson, who is the father of Taylor Anderson, who lost her life in tsunami last year in Japan.
You want to tell someone to go ahead of you in line. What is the polite way to say this?
I really like the spirit of competition with the other schools and teams around the U.S.
I like the performances that they showed. I thought that it gave us a good representation of Japanese culture.
It's hard to say what the best part of the Japan Bowl competition was. There were so many good things. I really liked getting more immersed in Japanese culture. I liked how they serve Japanese food, the taiko performances, the no acting.
The chocolate room. That was interesting. I've never actually eaten from a chocolate fountain before, but I had a lot of fun. The food was good.
I made some friends and some international friends, and I thought that was really good.
In the conversation round, the students go into the small room by team, and they meet with the judges. One is Japanese native speaker, and the other one is American, and they have to speak Japanese only.
僕は前に3週間も日本に行きました。僕は日本で学習院高校に留学して。
私は原宿に行ってみたいです。原宿のファッションの写真を見ましたから面白いと思います。
私は刺身とお寿司を作るのが大好きです。
The greatest thing about the Japan Bowl is seeing the expression on the students' faces. You can have this intellectual discussion about how important the Japan Bowl is to Japanese language education or to learning about Japan. But at the end of the day, it's all about the students, and it makes all of us who are involved in the Japan Bowl happy when we see how excited they are.
At the championship round, they get a chance to get on the stage, and it's the top 3 teams. They get to meet with the other top teams, and they have to answer in front of all the audience.
Question number 15, and the last question in the toss-up round. Everyone buzzers at the ready. The U.S. military operation that assisted Japan after the 2011 earthquake and tsunami had a Japanese word in its name. Richardson High School.
Operation Tomodachi.
Richardson High School, your answer is correct.
The question for level 3, they gave each of us a radical that was found in each kanji and then had us write kanji with that radical in it. And that was actually pretty difficult because I never think about kanji as, oh, X kanji is the one with this radical in it. It's just this kanji. And the radicals, of course, help, because if you know the radicals, then you can just write a bunch of parts of the kanji, but there's not a clear direct association between them. So it was hard to brainstorm up there on the spot in 90 seconds.
This character, which means the ties that bind, became very popular after the March 11th earthquake. What is its reading? Write your answer in hiragana.
Facing the audience during the championship round was new experience, definitely, because I never had to answer questions immediately in front of a big audience. And then when we get questions wrong, I could see Sensei's face just changing, and oh gosh.
All 3 of you are correct.
Congratulations.
I wish I could bring more students to the Japan Bowl, because I could teach a lot of things outside my classroom lesson. Japan Bowl is only for 3 people per team, and I wish I could bring my whole class to the Japan Bowl.
Please join me in welcoming His Excellency, the Ambassador of Japan, Ichiro Fujisaki. The Ambassador of Japan has been coming to the Japan Bowl ever since he arrived in Washington a few years ago. And it means a lot to all of us because it's a form of appreciation and recognition. He is the symbol of Japan in the United States, and for him to come every year to the Japan Bowl and to put the medals around the winning team's neck just sends a message about how important the Japan Bowl is.
It's just amazing. Awesome. Aren't the kids really Japanese? They look American. The questions were so difficult, too. I was criticizing these people who made the questions. But they said, no, even if you make it so difficult, you get ties. And so we have to make it more and more difficult each year.
We've been very lucky over the years to receive support from a number of foundations, starting with the U.S.-Japan Foundation in New York City, which has been a supporter almost from the very, very beginning. The Embassy of Japan has been wonderful. The Japan Foundation also has been there to provide the kind of support that allows us to do this competition.
And level 2, the national championship team.
Thomas Jefferson High School.
Every year we give a free trip to Japan to the winners at level 4. This year, because it's the 20th anniversary Japan Bowl and we had some additional support from some great sponsors, we're also able to fund a trip for the level 3 team as well.
Thanks to the generosity of the Sharp Corporation, with some assistance from the trustees of the Japan American Society in the city of Yokohama. The first place winners of level 3 also will go to Japan with the level 4. The national champions of level 3 and the winners of a trip to Japan are
Thomas Jefferson High School.
We'll be able to spend 12 days in Japan and practice our Japanese, learn about the culture, experience it. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited.
I feel very proud and confident in all of the teams, but at the same time, I feel slightly pressured because all other schools are now looking at us, trying to take our place next year.
There are a lot of people in the United States and in Japan who have an interest in encouraging the next generation of Americans to learn Japanese, starting with people like us, the friendship societies that want to promote a better relationship between the two countries. But it also includes Japanese language teachers, Japanese universities that have Japan programs, the Japanese business world, which of course wants to have employees in the future who understand them, American companies who do business in Japan, and of course the Japanese government, which has as a national goal the promotion of their own language.
I hope students will get as many wow moments as we hope, and it's going to stick on their memory and their lives so that they have the Japan connection in the future.
One of the students said at the end when we took our survey, he says, this was the single most memorable thing in my entire high school career.
We love